Hey, this is Stacia, and today I'm going to analyze a training game that I played against Gueldos, rated 1704, and I was rated 1708. And I'm also going to include the eval bar, something a little different on the left there. I do not have the computer engine lines running though. So basically, that's going to serve to maybe tip us off during the analysis, which might make it a little more interesting. So let's find out. So e4, c5, the Sicilian, and I played d4. I really love this move d4 because the whole reason that black is playing c5 like this is to control d4 and stop the move d4. So we play it anyway. I like that. So they take c3. Now they can just win a pawn if they want. And takes, and knight c6. Okay, so this is so far the Smith-Morra Gambit accepted and basically the main line. And so after knight to f3, my opponent chose e6. So the Smith-Morra Gambit is wrought with danger. Like, for example, I'll show you a quick little trap line. If my opponent were to play d6, I would play bishop c4. Probably play this almost always. And if they try the move knight f6, which looks like a very natural move, you actually can play e5 right away. And now if they take with a knight, they automatically lose the game. If you want to pause your video and find it, go ahead and do so now. Yeah, so the answer is takes, queen or bishop f7. And now that king basically is checkmated. So he has to take the bishop and then, oh, sorry, your queen is gone. So that's one trap. And then another way is like, let's say they do take with a pawn. I've had this happen multiple times too. Like after, let's see, how about knight takes? We don't take here. Looks tempting. We play this move, threatening a fork. And then a lot of times people will actually move their king up. I mean, you kind of understand why, right? Because it's tough to stop this. If they try like this move, they just lose their knight. And if they try this move, we take, they take, then they get forked anyway. It's not easy to deal with. So a lot of times they play this. And then this is funny because after check, here we have checkmate. So just an example of what can happen in the Smith-Morra Gambit. So, but my opponent did not play this move d6. They actually went e6. Okay, another way that you can play for sure. So I went bishop c4 and he went a6. Now this move might look slow, and it kind of is, but it's also completely necessary because this knight does often come to b5 and put pressure on these two squares. So a6 is often necessary, especially if you want to play things like queen c7, because you don't want knight b5 to come in and hit that queen. So a6 is good. And then a lot of times black can try b5, bishop b7, which was basically, I think, my opponent's idea. Okay, so we just continue development, castle, and now the move b5. Now I have to tell you, I was really suspicious of this move because I don't know. I always look at, can I stick a knight on d5? Now, I thought if I put my knight on d5, this is terrible because they probably just take the bishop. Let's see what the eval bar says. Yeah. Okay, and that is the right move. So, but I was looking at bishop d5, and I spent a long time here. I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes maybe, because it doesn't seem like this is the right move to me, but on the other hand, I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. Like I thought if bishop d5 and they take, I take, it's a tempo on this knight. This knight will have to move, and at the very least, I get d6. So if this knight goes here and I get d6, he moves away, I have rook e1 check. I've seen so many lines like this in the Smith-Morra, and they're usually pretty good. Like we have compensation, so I decided to go for this move, expecting the eval bar to drop. Okay, it didn't drop as far as I thought. So he probably should take this. I mean, I'm sure this is what the computer would say. Oh, actually, I'm wrong. And I thought after here, knight e7 doesn't look so good because of d6. I don't know about that. Yeah, it looks like white's like winning now, which is what I thought too. So after this move, my opponent played knight e7. So knight e7, yeah, I mean, I can now save my bishop if I want to, but then it's kind of like, why did I play this move, right? It's just a waste of time. So I didn't intend on moving it. Instead, I thought maybe queen e2 and maybe bishop g5. So I played bishop g5. The point of this move, yes, I'm pinning the knight. I don't think that's a big deal. But kind of the point of it is that if black wants to eliminate that pin, they sort of need to make a concession on their king side with either h6 or f6. Notice how the queen side's already wide open. There's lots of squares for us over here to pick and pry at. But over here it's solid, and if they manage to castle, that's going to be solid. So we're trying to provoke like one of these moves. So they went h6, and usually the move is bishop e3. And here I didn't want to play that. I'm not exactly sure why. So I went bishop h4. Yeah, and g5. I think I played this because I thought they shouldn't be able to play g5. But I guess they can play g5. And here I thought, how about just bishop g3? But then if we go bishop g3, I actually thought that maybe this is getting annoying. Like, I don't know what I should do with this knight exactly. I guess knight h4 might be fine. I just don't know where this knight is going. You know, he's got nowhere to go at all. So it doesn't seem right to me, but the computer likes this a little bit. Okay. Instead, I sacrificed because that's what I do. Okay, this is a huge blunder apparently, but it's just like Grandmaster Mikhail Tal said. He said there's sound sacrifices and then there's mine. So I'm playing like Tal. Unsound sacrifice. Okay, so they take. They probably should. And I take back. But I was just thinking on a practical level, as two human players playing a rapid game, I don't know where that king's ever going to go. And I don't think his development is so good either, right? So this is, this still looks kind of good to me, but now I definitely don't want to sacrifice my bishop. Let me say that. Okay, so bishop g7. So once again, he could choose to take here. But I think after this, this is tempting and this is tempting. I actually like taking with a pawn, I think, because it's a tempo on the knight. And then we're going to play d6 and we're going to win material back. So I think this is mainly why he didn't take and instead played bishop to g7. Okay, so my opponent is trying to get his pieces in the game, which he should do. Now, I thought here, wow, and black's totally winning. You know, during a game as crazy as this one, you never really know if you're completely lost or if you are winning or if it's equal. It's hard to know because there's a lot going on. But he could try trading things off, I thought, even doing stuff like that. But, you know, then I get all the dark squares. Maybe that's not a good idea. So, okay, I chose rook a to c1. I guess I was thinking if he takes the knight, I will take with the rook and start getting more pressure built up that way. So he went queen c7. Engine likes it. Okay. And so how do we proceed from here? Like, are we just lost or what? So our bishop's still attacked. I actually thought queen c7 helped me a bit, though, because now if he takes ever, it's not his turn, but we take this way. This could be a fork. This could be pinned. I could play things like knight takes b5. So I thought all of this was still fairly interesting. And I didn't feel the need to move the bishop. So I just played g3. Oh yeah, small detail, right? He is threatening checkmate. So that's clearly why he did this. Now, I thought about playing f4, but I actually thought that g3 was the way to go, because now we have this option of bishop f4, which will be a tempo on the queen, and we might be able to like use these. Oops, sorry, I don't like that arrow. Might be able to use the dark squares somehow. So, okay, he just develops bishop e7, and now I went queen g4. And yeah, I thought forever here, because I had a feeling, this is often true, I had a feeling that I just need to find some good moves now. Otherwise, black's going to be fine and I'm going to lose. I mean, he's pretty much ready to castle queenside if he wants to. I'm not saying that the king's the safest ever, but maybe a little bit safe. So I've got to do something here, I thought. And I also need to make sure that this is still working, this pawn takes bishop thing. Okay, so I came up with queen g4. I'm already under 4 minutes, the bane of my existence. So after queen g4, basically I was threatening to possibly take the knight and then take the bishop. If I get the bishop, I'm on the rook, and he would probably have to castle there, and I felt there were more options from there. So he actually played f6. And okay, now white's winning. So, I mean, that just goes to show you, it's like white's totally lost, and then one tiny move, and now white's winning. You know, so these positions are, you can't always, you can't trust the computer eval 100%. And by that, I mean, you can trust it, but that's if everybody plays perfect. Right? It doesn't tell you how dangerous a position is. It doesn't tell you that. So, so yeah, f6. Never play f6. And so I just went bishop f4. I felt this move was good. I'm on the queen now, and I'm on the bishop, so it's a little bit of a discovery. And I thought if he tried e5, which he did, I just calculated that I could take on g7. So this is what I did. I mean, it's pretty simple. You know, it's like, got to stop that, right? Can't let me take with check. Plus, is that just going to be mate? I mean, it seems like it to me. Pretty close. Pretty close. I guess they would have to sack their knight too. I'm just kind of seeing this. Like, let's say they do nothing. Like this. Yeah, where does the king go? He's got nothing. So you go here, check, and then here. And then definitely that move. Yeah, this is not looking too good, is it? So they're going to get mated, I'm sure. In fact, I don't even have to play this. I kind of like knight b5 there, winning tons of material, but I would look for checkmate first. Okay, so after this move, he castled. I guess this is his idea. And okay, so we still need to play some good chess, I think. So the bishop's attacked, so maybe it's time to move it. So I did. And they went f5. f5 I didn't really understand. I think they want to get rid of this pawn, maybe, so that, I'm not sure why they did that actually. Maybe they do want to do that so they can weaken the diagonal. I don't know why the arrows are drawn today. But I kind of thought maybe they were just saving the pawn. They could also do it this way, though. Okay, and I played f4. So I see this isn't most accurate by the eval bar, but f4 I thought was a pretty testing move because, well, it improves my rook, and I really didn't want to see the move f4 come in. I thought if that comes in, I'm not too happy about my pawns getting wrecked, and I guess I have king h8 and everything's fine, probably. So probably I did not need to stop this, but I didn't want to even allow it. So I just went f4. This way I'm attacking this pawn. That seems reasonable to me. Okay, and that just seems like a clear mistake because my bishop is defending that. So I took that. Why not? My bishop's pretty awesome too. I really like it here, but he will get captured eventually. So why not? So I took that. Okay, he's on me. So I just simply moved away. I think I'm just totally winning now. He took on e4, which was kind of annoying because I definitely wanted to play knight d5. But I took this way. And now I thought, what was I thinking here? Oh, I thought instead of knight d5, I could play knight e4. That seems good. And then I have this possibility in the position. That looks quite nice. And plus it opens up the rook, kind of pins that knight. Okay, so he went knight to g6. Yeah, and I think the reason he did this is because he realized that he wants to move this knight, but he can't move it or he loses that knight. So here's knight d5. I'm on the queen. Queen takes, but I did calculate this too, and I thought this is just a clear win for me now. Because after queen takes, knight takes, I actually have knight e7, double check, opening up the rook on the king as well. That means there's no time to take with the knight, and then I can just win the rook. So this is kind of what happens. Oh yeah, and if he does this way, which he did, this knight's pinned, so he cannot take there. So I got the fork, and my opponent resigned. So, okay, well, I didn't turn on the engine at all. So now we're going to use the chess.com game review. So I'm going to click that. And let's see if the analysis was any good. I don't feel like I'm necessarily on my game right now, but... and I don't think I liked having the eval bar on. I like the mystery more of like, is my position good? Is it losing? You know, I think I enjoy that more. Seeing that eval bar at -3 most of the game, I think just like made me feel silly that I even played that way, but okay, which is maybe justified, right? Okay, let's turn this title off. Okay, so here we go. So 83.9% accuracy for me, 79 for my opponent. I have a feeling bishop d5 is just not theory at all, that first one. So let's go through this. This just shows the critical moments. Yeah, b5 is the last book move. And then this is, wow, okay, well, I can live with just inaccurate. I did think this is interesting. I'm curious if masters play this. Let's see if they do. No, only one master. Actually, one master played this. The rest played this. Nobody plays bishop d5. Yeah, well, this is like, I'm sure this is, maybe it's been tried, but it's not good. Too bad we don't have the lichess database. Okay, so, you know, if we ask the engine now, it does say black's just up a pawn. Okay, fine, but that's not so bad when I'm sacking a piece too. But he should not take this move because of e takes d5. And I thought if here, I was planning d6. Yeah, so looks like I was right about that. You know, and without really calculating it out, it's interesting to me that I knew this was good based on recognizing this same type of thing happening in other games that I've looked at and studied. So, yeah, just the power of pattern recognition helped me find this idea. But it also made me play bishop d5 when it's not that great. Okay, so he can't take it. It likes knight g to e7, and I guess we'll continue with the review now. Oh yeah, huge blunder. Okay, so why is this a blunder? Let's find out. It might not be easy to understand because actually he's winning for a long time even after this. So maybe we just continue. Yeah, bishop f4 exclam. I don't know why that's an exclam. Doesn't seem great to me. I was thinking, though, if e5, it opens up my bishop on f7, and I'm going to take that. So I knew this was not really a good move to play e5, which he did play anyway. Yeah, because what else do you do? I think that's pretty much why. I mean, they could move their queen, I guess. But then I'm just going to take that. And then I can maybe come in on some of these squares and stuff. So yeah. All right, well, so f6 is a mistake. So let's see if we can... Queen g4 was good. Okay, instead of f6, what should black do? What was I afraid of during the game? During the game, I thought maybe he could just... I don't think you should take my bishop, actually. Doesn't seem right. Maybe it's okay. Let's look at this for a second. If he takes, I would certainly play this move. Actually, the pawn move also looks interesting, but I'm on these two things. Black says no problem. Queen e5. Queen e5. Fork's protected. That's protected. They might even be thinking about taking a pawn, because that's what computers do. So here it says I have nothing better than bishop takes e7. And I would say knight takes there. And then what? Just knight c7 check? I don't really want to play that move. I feel like this is not what I want to do. Maybe I do want to do this. I don't know if that material's enough, though, is my thinking. Yeah, and it looks like black's just winning here. Yeah, he's got too much material. I don't feel like my rooks and my queen are going to be enough, especially with this queen so active. It's going to mean that we might have to trade queens at some point. Okay, so that was interesting. So, so maybe they could play this move then. No, the computer actually likes queen e5 right away, or knight e5. There's a lot of moves. Queen e5, knight e5. Yeah, just use the e5 square, basically. And the other one was knight g6, blocking the attack, which also makes a lot of sense. I like that move as well. But this is also, I think, good. Yeah, it is good. Okay, well, anyway, if we go back to the review. Yeah, f6 was just a huge mistake. It just weakens the stuff too much. And it also just hangs the g7 bishop. It just loses material, in fact. Right? So because after e5, I just take. It's danger levels, right? Like you can't do this. It's called danger levels. Good. Thank you, Gotham Chess. So they castled, and then here, turn this back off. So here, white's winning. And let's see the next key move. So f4 doesn't like f4, thinks it's inaccurate, but hey, it's +5. So I like f4. I was concerned, but what did they want us to play? Why won't it let me retry my move? It's annoying. So it wants me to... Okay, let's just look at the engine. It wants bishop g5. Just putting the bishop back, saying, okay, now I'm here forever. And that's pinned and attacked, because this is kind of pinned, and we could take here. Yeah, this does look strong, actually. There's a lot of stuff going on here, and there's no rook b8 because of bishop takes, as we see later. Okay, I think that's good. I liked f4 too. I have no problem with f4. I liked it. Okay. And then I guess that's it. No more key moves. So if we just use the engine from here, yeah, isn't that just a blunder? I guess it's inaccurate. Takes. Likes that move. Also likes queen h6. Likes this. Here, and definitely knight d5. Just dying to play that the whole game. Got my bishop on d5 instead, and then knight d5, just wins here. There is no queen takes e5 like we talked about. So I guess even knight b6 check wins, which I also looked at. There is like a sort of a mating net as well, because check, and then they have to go to the dark squares, but the dark squares are not going to be all that safe with this guy around, right? I could move the knight and put my bishop in there, or I could play here, like get rid of this guy first somehow, and then try to pin and get in there that way. I don't know. Lots of ideas. Anyway, takes and check, and that's it. Oh, this is the computer's continuation. So, yeah, so I guess not my best game ever, because that sec was really unsound on g5, but hey, I got to sacrifice twice. I like that. I played bishop d5 and I played knight takes g5. That's when you know it's a good game. So, okay, just 2 inaccuracies and 1 blunder, that's it. Otherwise, I played well. So I am pretty happy with this game overall. I guess I should understand why this isn't enough, which I kind of knew, but I was more afraid what happens if I don't do this. I guess the engine says all of this is fine. Yeah, they can't play g4, it says, which I didn't quite realize. I thought I would play here, and this position I wasn't sure about because my knight feels so weird. And the engine says it's just equal. They have to guard the pawn with h5 and it's just equal. I mean, okay. I don't. Or actually now it's saying white's better. Maybe this position, maybe all these positions are just crazy and anything can happen. That's my assessment. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was nice to get a few rating points and be over 1700. I have some losses I've been meaning to record as well, so I'll get to those at some point. So I hope you have a great day, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.